Here at God Family and Guns, we are a light in a very dark world, and we fight uphill, battling against algorithms and demonetizations. And how we battle against this is oftentimes support from you, so please consider being a patron to God Family and Guns. That link is below. When U.S. Customs and Border agents sought out for a new firearm, they went to Glock. And Glock came out with kind of a peculiar firearm referred to as the Glock 47. Now, we'll take a look at the Glock 47 at SHOT Show, and we'll talk about it a little more then because it's not going to be available till after 2023. But I just kind of want to talk about the Glock 47 and really kind of put a big question mark on it, and it's got some greatness and it's definitely got some strangeness to it. That's kind of what we're going to talk about. So what I'll first say is the Glock 47, if you were to describe it, a lot like a Glock 17, which is at first you kind of go, well, wait a second, that's just a Glock 17. Ultimately what they did was they took a Glock 45 grip frame. Now what a 45 grip frame is it's got the grip of a Glock 17. It holds 17 rounds. But the upper portion is shorter to accommodate a shorter slide, and they put a 19 slide on it. So ultimately what you have is you have the Glock 45 grip, which is like a Glock 17 handle, but it's shorter to fit a shorter Glock 19 slide on it. But they put a slide on it that's the size of a Glock 17 slide. So it looks pretty much just like a Glock 17, except appearance-wise, the frame is just a little bit shorter, so the slide extends past the frame, unlike the Glock 17 where they're even. But the biggest eternal difference is that the recoil spring assembly is not for a Glock 17, it's for a Glock 19. That's pretty significant. A lot of people might refer to this as a glorified Glock 17. Now, here's the goodness in it and kind of the strangeness in it, because ultimately what the militaries of the world are looking for right now, for some strange reason, is modular handgun systems. Systems where you can trade out parts and you can change that gun per soldier or per police officer. So, for example, the U.S. Army went with the SIG P320 because it's a modular system. You can buy one gun for $600 and buy a bunch of different grip frames and things like that for $300, and you can change it out. What Glock went to the U.S. Army with was the 19X, which ultimately was kind of a cross between a 19 and a 17, showing that you could maybe buy other handguns and make them similar, but the problem is that's $600 a gun per soldier. So the good thing in this is they're kind of getting the modularity concept, because once you have the 47, if you have a 45 grip frame that's like a Glock 19 on the top, and you have a longer Glock 17 slide and barrel with a 19 recoil spring assembly, well, now what you can do is you can put that on a Glock 19 frame. So that's, to me, really the ultimate Glock. I've said that many times, is why don't they make a Glock 19 with a Glock 17 slide? Here, if you bought both handguns, you can do that, but again, it's kind of running into the same problem with the Army. Well, you gotta buy two handguns. If you went with the P320, you just buy one gun and buy another grip. Now, with that being said, a lot of people already have Glock 19s, and this is bang, good news for them. So, I'm just gonna say, I wish they'd make one that just came out of the box like that, like a 19 grip with that same 17 size slide. I wish they'd do that and call it a Glock 17X or something, I don't know. But this is what they came up with, the Glock 47. So this is going to be a lot of good news for people, a lot of people excited about it. I'm sure militaries and police are very excited. I know U.S. Border and Customs, they're excited about it. I would too if I was one of them. Because ultimately what they're getting is they're getting Glock 26s, Glock 19s and these Glock 47s. So that sounds like a good setup to me if somebody was just to provide all 3 of those per officer. Now, what I'll also say is that I wish they'd make that. I think people have been asking for the Glock 19 grip with the 17 slide. Looks like you can have a modularity system if you bought 2 guns and do that yourself, or if you already own the 19. But really, I don't know why they're not hearing this, because what they also should be doing is making a Glock 26 grip with a 19 slide as well. They should be really, I mean, especially showing now that they can put a 19 recoil spring on a 17 slide and make it function as good as a Glock, I hope. One might say that why aren't they doing this with a lot of others? But there you go, it's the Glock 47. I'm just, until they come out with it out of the box, I'm still not excited about it. But, you know, if you own a Glock 19, and, you know, most people that own a Glock probably own a Glock 19, this is great news. So we'll take a look at it at SHOT Show and shoot it and let you know. We'll kind of get a little more detail into it, but, you know, ultimately what you got here is you got a Glock 45 grip frame, which is a Glock 17 grip with a shorter upper of the frame, so you can put a Glock 19 slide on there. But what they've done is they put a Glock 17 slide on it to extend that barrel, which is super cool. In itself, they just made a glorified Glock 17 with a Glock 19 recoil spring and upper frame. So, but I'm excited to see how this functions with that recoil spring, because I really hope they are moving forward into doing things for concealed carriers, because obviously if I can have a 19 grip with a 17 slide, I desire that. As would most people, which is why I think this is going to be so appealing, but it's just a roundabout way of getting there, which makes it, I don't know, kind of strange. So, but we'll take a look at it. Love to hear any thoughts or insight on this. Definitely put that below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel with Patreon. That link is also below. The most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.